So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glasses.
Lockyer takes the shot. It's low. He's got it. I think he's got it.
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On. Welcome back to On the Air tonight. Potaters, spuds all around the nation. We rejoice. We rejoice because the boys are back. This week, this is the only podcast that reviews free-to-air content. The only free-to-air podcast that reviews free-to-air content.
Nailed it.
And this week I'm Tom.
And this week I'm Jay.
How are you, buddy?
Mate, swell.
Yeah?
Super swell.
You happy to be back?
I am. It was a brief week off, but we're back. We're back in the studio.
It was only a week, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, feels like 2. Feels like 3.
It does, but you
Just
know
the
what?
one.
We're back. And by the time you're listening to this, there'll be maybe close to 2,000 kilometers separating us.
Yeah, I'm going to be far, far away from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be far. I'm off to Cairns tomorrow, Jacob.
So tomorrow on a Tuesday, the 19th, is it?
Recording this on Tuesday, the 19th of April.
Nailed it.
Departing Brisbane on Wednesday, the 20th of April.
Mm-hmm.
When this episode drops, I'll still be in Cairns.
Yep.
It'll be we'll probably upload Thursday, so it'll be my second day of the trip.
Anyway, you guys are listening to it, so you know when you're listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're back in the studio. I'm doing really well, mate. We've had a big past, I'd say, 5 or 6 days.
Well, it was Easter, wasn't it?
It was. So happy post-Easter to all potaters.
We thought we would leave we didn't want to encroach on Jesus's holiday, you know? We thought we'd give him the limelight, give him the spotlight over his special 3 days.
It's nice of you to do for your imaginary friend, mate.
Well, we might have some Christians listening. We might have some deranged people listening.
I think if we had any religious people listening to the podcast, by Ep 10, you would believe there's no God.
What about, yeah. It's only Satan.
Satanists and sad people and sadists.
Sadistic, satanistic, sad people.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
What about Christian Reese? His name's Christian.
Yeah,
He believes in the big man.
When do you think that name was made? Do you think it was made after the Christian religion?
I would say that any religious family probably wouldn't name their child Christian. Any Christian family. It's like being a Jewish family and
Calling
naming your kid Jew.
Yeah. This is a Jew. Yeah.
This is Jew Barrymore. You Jewish?
It's Drew. I think it says Jew.
I've seen you at the synagogue. Between E.T. shoots.
Well, look, no matter what your creed or whatever you worship, whether it's a deity or whether it's us.
I think it's us at this point. We are your saviors.
Yeah. We're glad to have you back on the air tonight. Episode 60.
Yeah. Yep. Episode 60. Milestone, you could call it.
Sure. Yeah. We made it to the end of another 10.
Not 50. It's just something with an O after
It's more than 59.
But no, we thought we'd come back post-Easter, episode 60, and watch a bit of ABC free-to-air content after I'd say we earned our keep as far as drinking and enjoying ourselves, eating chalky eggs.
We definitely
drinking beers over the elongated weekend.
Yes, absolutely.
How many eggs did you have?
Well, I actually won over 300 eggs.
You actually did.
Not to flex.
That's not a joke.
So shenanigans started on Thursday, which was our office's wrap up or like a Easter party. And they have a couple of incentives, great place to work. And one of the things they do for Easter is they run 2 competitions. They get everyone in a room. And the biggest competition is a week prior, you have to guess the amount of eggs in a crate.
Yep.
See-through crate. You've seen plenty of these at carnivals, fairs, school fetes. Guess the amount of X in the box, and the closest person wins, or whoever nails the number wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other competition was you got a raffle ticket. If your ticket was picked, you got a basket of chocolates. Mm-hmm. Your boy won both.
Jacob won both. You tied won the guessing game.
Mm-hmm.
You and another person in the office guess the exact same number.
Yes.
So you split the 300 eggs.
It was 315 eggs. Me and this other colleague of ours guessed 317.
Oh, and what was the number of eggs in there?
315.
Gotcha. I'm with you. You both guessed 317. The number of them was 315.
Correct. So we were within 2, and it's like, it's not like, oh, you didn't get it, we'll try again next year. It's we'll give it to the closest number, even if it's 50.
Yeah. I, for one, came in on Thursday morning ready with my guess, and the voting had closed. I missed out.
Clearly,
turns out you can't do it the morning of.
Tom's
ladies and gentlemen.
Tom has been so close to winning Employee of the Month so many times. If only A, he checked his emails to see if he was nominated, but also B, just checked his emails to do his work.
I only check Easter-related emails.
Well, clearly no.
Even that I don't.
Clearly you didn't check Easter-related emails.
Well, I didn't realize how much admin was involved. You know, it makes sense when you think about it.
Admin?
No, not me.
Okay.
The people collating the votes.
I thought you were saying, like, the amount of work I have to do to guess how many eggs are in a basket.
Because from what I heard, all you had to do was scan a QR code and enter a number.
Correct.
It's quite easy, actually.
It was very straightforward. But if you're the people organising it,
well, they probably were the night before. They'd already organised the votes and they already knew who was the winner.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't ready for someone to come in an hour before and go, I guess 317.
Well, it was actually funny because the office manager, Nikki, who organised it all, she was walking past my team when we were having a team meeting. And both of my managers at the time were working either from home or from a different city. So they chimed in via video call.
I saw you doing that.
And office manager walked past and they were like, ask Nikki if we can call in, because the requirement is if you are going to win a prize, you need to be physically present in the room when they call out the prize winner or like the ticket winner or whoever the correct guess is. And my managers ask, can we just FaceTime in? And instead of saying, no, sorry, that's not part of the rules, Nikki just said, don't bother, your number's wrong.
Oh my God.
Sorry, mate. There's no point you even calling because you were not even in the vicinity of winning.
Brutal. I wonder what they guessed. Something in 500s probably.
I think they guessed in the 2s.
Yeah, okay. See, you know how I didn't get my guess in?
Yes. I
know where this is going?
No, I was going to say, go on.
I was just going to say I didn't get my guess in, but it was going to be 315.
No, it wasn't.
Yep. It's my special number, 315.
Based on what?
Based on me running an eye over the case of eggs.
And why is 315 your special number?
Well, it's not my special number. It's me running my eye. He's got me. Is it your special number or is it you're running an eye over it?
Someone's balls have just been sucked right into their stomach like, I've been compromised. You just said it's your special number, dude. So which one is it? Is it your special number or is it just a number that you pulled out of your asshole?
Well, it's me running an eye. I'll negate the special number. It's me looking at the box of eggs and going, Terminator scanning it and going, that's 315 eggs.
Interesting, because in the court of law, I'd have to go about, if you're under prosecution right now, or if you're a witness on the stand, I'd have to say, well, Tom, you've changed stories multiple times, so how can we really trust you? How do we know you stories in something different? How do we know that you don't check your emails, you weren't really invested in Guess the Chocolates because you're vegan anyway, so you don't really care about dairy milk, especially fucking
315 eggs.
315 eggs.
Look, it's a good point, and I wouldn't be mad if you proved me wrong in that court of law, because you're right. What would I have done with the Easter eggs? I would have handed them all out.
Yep.
I would have just wanted it for the glory, but what am I going to do with 315 Easter eggs?
Correct.
Dairy milk Easter eggs. I'm not even going to eat one. I had vegan chocolate over Easter.
Invigorating story.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Okay.
I wanted to win in the raffle. There was gin.
There was Henriksen.
There was Henriksen gin, and I was
a couple of cartons of some
that.
What I can only describe as Aldi Hahn.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that beer?
It looks like a really
it's like Steel Sailor's beer or something.
It looks like how John Boston is like the carbon copy of James Squire, but like lesser quality.
Yeah.
This looked like that of Hahn, which Hahn's already kind of bottom of the barrel. So it's pretty impressive that they found a beer even more average than that.
Well, you know, we spoke of the BCF beer a couple of weeks ago.
The BCF beers, yes.
This was below the BCF beers, if you can imagine that. So
hard to imagine.
Yeah, I would have taken one of those. You motherfucker somehow win the raffle and the thing, which is unheard of. You've being kissed on the dick by Jesus Christ, obviously.
If only I could win a multi.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I've got all these eggs and no money.
One of my
Can I
teammates.
put 4 eggs on Josh Adokar to score at any time? And 1 lint bunny.
You're not going to be able to pay rent of 18 eggs this week, though.
Yeah.
One of my teammates was not pleased about it.
I can imagine her.
Yeah,
I need to tell.
Paso, shout out.
Okay.
We'll say not very gracious in defeat.
Because you won both.
Yeah, she's like, I've been here for 3 years and I've not even gotten close, and you could somehow come in and won this. Don't talk to me for the rest of the day. I was like, I was going to share my eggs with you, but if you're going to be like that,
I'll give you credit. You did walk around the office and you did your best Oprah impression and just.
you get.
Do you want an egg? Do you want an egg? Yeah. You
mean-
get an egg. You get an egg.
What good is it being in abundance of rich? I mean, in this case, chocolate. But what's the point in being incredibly wealthy in one currency? More than you'd ever imagine yourself consuming or needing.
Well, then you can do, do anything with.
And that way you get a little brownie point around the office. People are like, oh, that boy's so nice, handing out his chocolate.
He gave me an egg on Easter.
Yep.
The Easter money. Do you take the same mentality to money? Like if you won the lottery, would you give some money to your mates?
I think, knowing first thing is 2 different ballparks. Chocolate, I could probably Actually, no, I probably couldn't. But money, I'm very, very bad with. It's on record that I'm not a very good saver. I live week to week.
That is on record.
Or week to week, which is hard to do on a monthly wage.
Yeah.
How ironic.
The last 3 weeks of the month are really tough.
But it's safe to say that, those big Powerballs, like 80 million, I'd definitely be donating at least a quarter of it.
Donating or to your mates or to a cause?
Donating.
Yeah, okay.
Donating.
To charities.
And then I'd probably take all my mates on a big holiday, depending on who it is, who what friends or colleagues or family members they are. I'd help them invest in a business that they want to start or help them buy a house or whatever.
Can I forego the holiday and just get cash?
Yeah, but I'd put because you're asking for such, it in such a liquidated form.
Yeah.
Not as an asset, but just as straight capital.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting interest in return.
You'd want interest on the gift that you give me.
Only for the best co-host in the world.
Only
mate.
for me.
Yeah.
Everyone else gets a free holiday to.
I need 15 to 18 on the back end, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the VIG. What's the VIG? What's a VIG? Ask yourselves that. I don't know. They say it in Sopranos.
Watch more Scorsese movies, mate.
Yeah, dude. What's the VIG?
But yeah, so that kicked off what was an eventful weekend for us.
It was eventful. I can only speak for myself here, but I had Oils. I got Oils tickets through
You did.
work for, what was that, Thursday night?
Midnight Oil, by the way, not the Oils.
Not the Oils, Midnight Oil. Are the Oils a band?
The Oilers are a Major League Baseball team, I believe.
Okay. I didn't go and see a Major League Baseball game at River Stage in Brisbane.
I mean, some people might have thought so, but I'm glad you clarified
well,
it,
thank
Thomas.
you for clearing that up.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for being slightly less aggressive in the next remark you make.
Thank you in advance for chilling the fuck out.
Yeah. Thank you for just letting off a bit of steam.
Thanks for clarifying. It was the Oils, as in Midnight Oil.
Big PG up on stage.
Big Peter Garrett. That was a fun night. River Stage, Brisbane. It rained. Mm-hmm. If you know anything about River Stage in Brisbane, there's no roof. And it was a rainy night. Mm-hmm. And I didn't bring a rain jacket. So what do you do, Jacob?
Well, I mean, you cop the free tickets. You don't complain about it on a online presenting platform.
No, you don't whinge about it on your podcast during the week. That's definitely not what you do. What you do is you try to buy a poncho when you're there.
Yes.
This is what happened to me.
Here we go.
Tom's Yarn Corner. This time, Peter Garrett, Midnight Oil, Thursday night, River Stage on a dreary Brisbane night. No, I was just like, okay, I'll buy a poncho from the merchandise store. And I go up there and they go, okay, yeah, they're $5. I'm like, okay, that's a lot for a poncho, but I can live with it.
Reasonable.
For a piece of plastic.
At a concert where you came ill prepared.
Sure. I understand I'm going to get gouged. Like, I'm not complaining about that. It's like chips at the football.
I wouldn't be happy, but I would accept paying $5 for a poncho. But it gets worse from there, Tom.
Oh, well, it does, Jacob.
Because I've already heard this story, but Tom's going to tell it again.
Well, They haven't heard it yet.
You haven't. I apologize for jumping. So please continue.
I
Tom.
understand you think you're the only person who listens to this podcast. And sometimes I might feel like that.
I don't even listen to it.
Okay. You're like, I got to hear this again when I edit it as well. No, I went up, and I'm fine with getting gouged at events being ill-prepared. You're right. But they wouldn't accept anything but cash for the ponchos. They wouldn't take card. I was like, okay, who carries cash anymore, guys? And they're like, well, the system that we have, this FPOS system, doesn't have a $5 option. Mm-hmm. So if you want to pay card, you can buy a bit of merch along with the poncho so that it equals an amount that we can put through the system. I'm like, okay, what's the cheapest bit of merch you got? A $25 tea towel, midnight oil tea towel.
A tea towel?
A tea towel.
It wasn't a sweat towel, it was a tea towel?
A tea towel.
Okay.
Like, not even something that's practical.
Was it a cool tea towel?
No, it was pretty ugly, to be honest. So you're looking at a $30 poncho at that point. You're like, okay, well, I'm not paying $30 for a poncho.
Disposable poncho as well.
Yeah, not a good poncho. That's what I mean. It's a piece of plastic.
If it was a midnight oil poncho with Peter Garrett's face blown up, it's like, I'll give you 60 for
cool,
that.
I'll pay for that. But I'm not paying $30 for a rain poncho and a tea towel.
Sure.
So where can I get cash out? Where are your ATMs? Oh, there's no ATMs here at River Stage.
Okay. So you're asking me to pay an arm and a leg for this piece of plastic to keep me from getting wet, and you don't even have the facilities for me to pay for it.
Yeah, show me where to get cash out from. You can try and get it at the bar over there. Go to the bar. No, we don't do cash out. Go to the pizza stall. No, we don't do cash out. Go to the Greek food stall. No, we don't do cash out.
I'm so surprised that they didn't, the stalls didn't have square readers.
They had square readers.
So,
you mean the merchandise store selling the poncho?
Yep.
Yeah, no, they didn't have square readers.
What are you
Everywhere
doing?
Else did.
You're going to see more business than the fucking hot dog guy. The only person who's probably going to see more business than you is the beer tent.
Yeah.
So why not bring something that can accept what 99.99% of people pay with?
Yeah, any amount of payment. Like, let me put $5 through your system. No, we've got Midnight Oil branded FPOS machines that fucking only have the merch in there and can't be used for anything else.
Look, to be fair, the target demographic of Midnight Oil, you'd say vast majority of people there were late 40s and beyond.
Yep.
All cash carriers.
No, dude. Not anymore. You think that. You do think that and you would assume it, but everyone coming up around me had the exact same problem.
Okay.
Like, everyone was like, bruh. One guy was trying to buy 3 ponchos and he was going to have to get a hat with it to make it equal $60 to make it go through the system in an amount that they would accept.
You should have
$60 for 3 ponchos. I just said to the girl, I was like, because I tried 2 different girls. One woman was a real stickler for the rules, and she was like, no, can't do it. And I was like, surely someone here will have some empathy. And I went to another girl and I was like, look, can you just do me a favor and give me one? Like, they're worth about 50 cents. Can you just give me one? I'm going to get soaked. And she was like, no, I'll lose my job. Like,
your job selling fucking ponchos at a Midnight Oil concert.
You're going to lose your job over a rain
Your
poncho.
job's only for another 20 minutes, mate.
It's all over after this. You just have to make it through the next hour. You're a volunteer probably. But Branko from work did make a good point. He's like, the most socialist fucking singer in the world, the most lefty socialist Peter Garrett politician of all is selling tea towels for $25 a pop. It's like, okay, dude.
I mean,
it's not very, because he rants all night about people just want to make money. It's like you're going to church when you go into a Midnight Oil concert.
Hey, he's got to pay rent.
Do it for free.
Pay rent for free.
Practice what you preach, brother. It's the most capitalist gouging I've ever seen. $5 for rain poncho.
See, P Gaz knows how the world works, mate.
Oh, does he?
He's got rent to pay. He's got bills to pay. You know, he's got food that he needs to get for his children. I assume that he has. You're not getting it. This is like his
This is bread and butter.
for him. This is like the equivalent of you being employed to do something and then not checking your emails, which is why you miss out on opportunities to guess eggs. Okay.
Well, I would say that the same oil frackers, the same land frackers, and people who make money off the environment that cause the beds burning that he complains about, they're just paying rent as well.
Okay.
They're just making money, dude.
So you're pro Adani is what you're saying.
I'm pro-Adani and anti-Peter Garrett.
This just in, Tom loves to see the world burn.
Adani's never charged me $30 for a poncho. Put it that way.
No, they give free equipment to all their miners.
Yeah,
and free healthcare.
It's nice of them. You know, they're helping people out.
Yeah, this turned into a pro mining and fracking podcast.
Took a turn. What I ended up doing was just going up to a bin lady who was filling bin liners into bins, and I said, "Can I have a bin?" And she said, "Yeah," and I made a poncho out of
A
that.
rubbish bag, you mean?
A rubbish bag, a bin bag.
You didn't like take a wheelie bin and then just go sit there like Oscar the Grouch watching the show through like the slit in the lid.
Just my head not even popping out of it. I cut little holes in there.
Just see two white eyes on the black backdrop. Down in front.
can't see through the bin.
Shut up.
Shut up, Oscar.
This is my home. I can't move it. It's on wheels. Yeah, all right, you got me there.
Yeah.
Great story, man.
Thanks, man. It's another anecdote. Another anecdote for the ages.
So we went from Midnight Oil into Easter festivities. We farewelled one of our workmates on the Thursday leading into the Easter holiday weekend. That night, Tom and I had a couple of drinks, met up with some fellow potatters, Boat Boy, some of you might know him as, and Carnsey. I guess Carnsey.
Straight up Carnsey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went to Bavarian for a couple of drinks, then went to the Caco, and we saw none other than the great Pearl Steve Renoff. Only the greatest try scorer Brisbane has ever seen.
Just ran into him.
And the manager of all of the premierships throughout the 90s and early 2000s, I believe his name was Brian.
Yeah.
Something.
You learned that after calling him Ryan multiple times.
I've got industrial hearing, so he's just like, "Hey, man, I'm Ryan." I'm like, "All right."
Hey.
And then I called him about 3 times. He's like, "Are you calling me Ryan?" And I was like, "What? What are you saying?" And he's like, "My name's Brian, dickhead." I was like, "That's what I was saying." So you gaslight people. I was like, you might have been saying your name wrong, but I've been saying Brian the whole time, man. It's very much a Shutter Island moment.
Yeah.
It's
Convince him he's crazy.
You're in the wrong.
Yeah.
Not me.
You're older than me, so you're probably deafer. Statistics say you're wrong in this scenario.
Had some interesting conversations about the use of language in the NRL, the use of language between boomer men.
A real Caxton Hotel chat.
Yeah, what you'd expect at the top of the Caxton Hotel, only 30 or 50 metres away from the Mecca itself, Suncorp Stadium.
Yeah. Who would have thought we'd run into the Pearl? I wasn't originally, I don't know the man like you know the man.
I do know the man.
The record shows that you're great friends with Pearl's boy, Bill.
I'm not here to just pull up all my connections, but did go to school with Steve's favourite son.
The favourite one. The chosen one.
Nah, just kidding.
So you've spent a lot of time with the man in the past, so it was just like a couple of old mates catching up.
Bits here and there. I felt comfortable enough to throw a bit of banter his way, and he threw some back.
Well, we sat down and had beers with him for a good hour and a half.
We did.
And I was obviously there as well. So you're like, come over, meet the Pearl. Meet the Pearl.
Yeah, Tom was a bit starstruck. I had to check on him for a moment. I was like, is it sub-freezing in here? Because Tom looks like an icicle. He hasn't moved in about 22 minutes, 23 minutes. I was like, is he watching something? No, he's sitting, he's staring at Pearl. Okay.
He's here.
I think he's just, a little bit nervous. Starstruck.
Yeah. Jake did have to check me. He was like, are you sweet, dude? You haven't said a thing in 25 minutes. But you don't want to come into those situations and just, you know the man. What am I going to do? Come in and go, what was Wayne Bennett like as a coach? What was it like scoring that try in the grand final?
Yes.
Like, no one wants to hear that.
In the King's Court, it's unflattering for a mere peasant to come out and start speaking his worldviews.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to fanboy over a man amongst friends. You guys aren't fanboying over him. You're like, hey, how's Bill? How's Jody? How good was the wedding? How's life?
Who's Jody?
Like, probably his wife or something. I don't know.
Yep. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
See, I don't know the man. This is why I didn't speak up.
That's fair.
Because you get called out, assuming people's wives are Jody.
I could just see you just waiting to speak, and you're like thinking all these sorts like, all right, I'm going to ask a really eloquent question about footy, or I'm going to ask about like his, how he handled the media, or like how things have changed since now and then. You just like, blurt out like, show us your tits. You're a good footy player, Steve.
That was Wayne. That was Wayne as a coach. That's what I meant.
You did ask something Wayne related, didn't you?
No, I didn't in the end.
You asked something footy related.
I think he was talking about Wayne already. I did ask something footy related. But after a while, again, after 20 to 30 minutes of shutting the fuck up and, just letting someone else talk. I thought I'd give you the floor, Jacob.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, mate.
Sometimes you have to step back and just be in awe of a man.
If you give me the floor, I'll give you a flawless statement. How about that?
And you did. So that was fun. Before we got to the Caxton Hotel, though, we were at the Bavarian Beer Garden.
We were at the Bavarian Beer Garden up on the top of Petrie Terrace.
Do you want to spin that yarn?
Yeah. Great place to go. It's actually our unofficial but official sponsor for the week. We do have an obligation to shout them out, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Go check out the Bavarian Beer Cafe if either you like beer, bastardized German cuisine, or just...
Yeah, real authentic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask any German person or someone who knows a German, they're like, this is
This is Disneyland German food.
Yeah, this is like setting up like a pub in the middle of Alice Springs and calling it the Rainbow Serpent.
Yeah.
Getting it
without a single Indigenous person behind the bar.
Yeah, all white employees wearing loincloths and body paint.
Yeah, just backpackers.
Yeah.
And like
Germans, yeah.
Yeah. It's real like the excuse me. I was just gonna say it's kind of the safety net of the hospitality industry.
It's just commercialize the culture. Anyway, moving off the point.
That's our plug.
Our unofficial sponsor for this week is the Bavarian Beer Cafe at the top of Caxton Street. Great service. Phenomenal. When we got there, they noticed that we were repeat customers with someone who likes to, support local businesses, even if the local business is a franchise based off a butchered version of German culture.
Real mum and pop shop.
Yeah, real mum and pop shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, the manager came up to us and she said, boys, I notice you're here every week. Well, not every week, but most weeks.
Yeah. And don't oversell us, love. We're not here every week.
She noticed that we'd been obviously making the most of happy hour. They have fantastic happy hour offers. If you're a fan of Bolter XPA, actually they didn't have Bolter XPA, but they had Bolter Lager, $8 pints.
It's a good deal.
So you can get $8 pints there from 4 till 6. Food's okay. But once she noticed that we were off happy hour, we started getting schnapps shots, which are about $5 a pop. Got a few rounds of those, and she came up to us and said, boys, see you've been on the schnapps. If you all post a 5-star review on Google with an eloquent comment recommending this establishment, we'll give you a round of schnapps. And it was at this time, Tom and I just thought, we've been preparing for this moment for 2 years. It's time for us to flex our fame.
Yeah, we're going to negotiate.
Yeah. It's exactly what we did.
See your proposition and we raise you another.
Take this back to your boss. She's like, I am the boss. I'm like, okay.
All right. We'll take this on board.
Take this to the mirror then. We just said, look, we're happy to do a promotion. We can also give you a plug on our podcast, but we need 4 cocktails. All right.
We need a bit of extra love.
They serve pretty good pre-made cocktails at Bavarian. And that's what we got. We did a nice eloquent, each one of us, there was I think 4 or 5 of us at the time, did a comment, 5-star review on Google. An example of that is one that our good friend Harrison Carnes wrote.
All left on the spot in front of the boss.
All left on the spot.
Yep.
From Harry Carnes. 5 stars. This place is amazing. Think Willy Wonka, but for beer lovers. The only thing better than the beer is the staff. I'm in love.
Whoa.
Settle down now.
Is he in love with, I think her name was Sav?
He's in love. You know what her name is, mate. Don't you lie to me. Don't play coy, Mr. Tommy Boy.
I might have picked up her name, yeah.
Yes, he did. It was Sav. And I think, Harry was more in love with the service being provided and the fact we were getting free booze for whispering sweet nothings to the ether.
I think Harry met his dream woman that night. Yeah, I think OTAT is Cupid in this situation, and Carnes and Sav from Bavarian Beer Garden will now be together because of us. I think that's a match made in heaven. I think she's right up Harry's alley. So
go check out the Bavarian Beer Cafe. You might find love, but more than likely what you will find is guaranteed reasonably priced drinks. They have QR codes on every table, so you can order from the table. Like, who wants to get up in this day and age and give your card or cash over to the weird bartender standing across from you staring at you? Yeah, that's, I'm not going to go into that. That could be applicable to any bar, but that
could have been somewhere on the night that we were at. There could have been a strange bartender.
Point is, went there. We would recommend you go there. End of our plug.
I just like that it is the end of the plug, but I just like that we wheeled and we dealed and we went, okay, someone comes over with a proposition for free drinks, $5 Pims. I'll give you a whole tray of $5 Pims each, with the cowbell and everything. They come out ringing the cowbell. And we're like, no, that's not enough. We're going to need you to throw in a cocktail.
It was schnapps, not Pims. I just want to
Schnapps.
Just want to clarify that. Just
It was
because
schnapps, not Pims.
I'm a real detail oriented fellow.
But we had them over a bucket, we were like, they're desperate here.
Give us everything in the register.
Yeah, I was going to ask for more. I was like, because they brought out what was the cocktail we ended up getting?
Strawberry margarita.
Strawberry margarita.
Oh, no, we had a large... No, it was a strawberry margarita, yep.
We got a jug of strawberry margarita.
Oh, it was ice. It was a jug of ice with some strawberry margarita.
Well, that's how we were kind of... Because we knew that they sell them like that. And we were like, well, look, if you're going to bring out a jug of strawberry margarita, we want it with no ice. And then she wouldn't budge from there.
You might... Yes.
Like, we don't have as much leverage here as I thought we might.
During happy hour, we're going on to a point of bagging them now. During happy hour, they do sell $5 they're premixed cocktails, but they're cocktails nonetheless. Strawberry margarita, lychee paradise, appletini. And they also sell, after happy hour, $14 jugs. You might think this is a good deal, but it's really just a jug of ice with probably, I'd say, 12 mils of cocktail in there?
Yeah, there's... You really have to go on it slow if you want a whole cup of liquid. You got to wait for that ice to melt in there. But hey, not bagging them. Go to Bavarian Beer Garden and see for yourself.
Yep. So Journey of Midnight Oil, Easter festivities at work, Bavarian Beer Cafe, free drinks, Kako, a yarn with the Pearl, and then we're on our merry way. Tom and I went to the Valley that night, went and saw a gig, saw The Ropes. The Ropes are a band from the Gold Coast.
Yep.
The Ropes are spelt with 2 R's, so the Ropes.
The Ropes.
The Raps.
Yeah.
They were great.
They were a good band. Shout out William McCoy, new frontman for The Ropes.
New frontman.
Old friend of the show, old friend of us, but new front runner, new front man for The Ropes.
Correct.
He did a good job.
He did. He rocked.
He shook his dick around.
Rocked out. It was a great gig.
Yep. Sorry.
Please.
I was just going to say that there were... Did you see the photos I think I was showing you the next day? We'd been drinking for a while. We'd been drinking since a good 2 o'clock or something. Somehow I ended up with my shirt off in the fucking... in Tomcat in the Valley.
You did?
I think Jacob can be blamed.
Nope.
Well, I remember you like... undoing a top button and then a second button and then a third button. I was like, this is pretty funny, right? Here with 3. And you were like, no. Go all the way, son. Go all the way. And then I just ended up in Tomcat with no shirt on. And I was like, what am I doing here?
Flexing your rig.
I quickly put it back on. No, it's not a whole lot to look at.
Well, you thought you were fucking peak Arnold on
Full of confidence on
Thursday
the
night.
I remember Will came over after the gig. He's like, what happened to... He came over with just... finding me with my shirt off. He's like, how did you boys get here? I was like, I don't know.
Yep.
Not sure how it ended up this way, but here we are.
Here we are. So went from Thursday night, went to that gig. Saturday night, we just couldn't get enough of each other. So we were out there doing networking. Saturday afternoon, Tom and I, with a couple of other comrades from the OTAT community, went and saw the one and only Floodlights, who we've spoken plenty about, waxed poetic about on this show before.
Great time. As good as always. We already saw them at 9 Lives, but even better at Black Bear Lodge.
Fantastic. Most packed out I've ever seen that venue.
Yeah, that was heaving. And I can die happy given the one song that they didn't play at 9 Lives last time, they played as an encore this time.
Backyard.
Great song.
Great song.
I think Jake started the encore chat for that as well. Encore chant for that as well.
I think I might have, yeah. Floodlights. It took a couple of, it was floodlights and then it was encore. It was, get the fuck out here.
Yeah, do one more.
I want my money's worth.
Yeah. And they listened.
And they did. And they came out, rocked the show. So all in all, man, I would say a successful Easter weekend.
Very successful. It was perfectly planned out in that it was gig, day off, Easter Monday with the parents. Like there was a break between each big night.
Yep.
Where Titanic could be watched and Macca's could be eaten in bed.
Yep. Party, recover, work. Well, for me, work. Tom's, as we've already established, is off to Cairns later this week.
I'm not back till the 26th.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be
I'm
very,
never gonna-
very
I got Anzac
nice.
Day to come back to. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Another day off.
Another day off. Public holiday.
Speaking of, Easter's a time of giving. People say Christmas is, but why not Easter as well? And much like the festive feeling of giving, the gift that keeps on giving is our weekly reviewers. It's part Australian, part Chinese smoked paprika, and Christian Reese, aka TAC, the Animal Chin.
2 reviews this week. First being from Lance Farrelly, part Australian, part Chinese.
On your Lance.
Review of episode 59, Maths, Married at First Sight. Here goes. The boys again prove they are the go-to duo when it comes to social commentary. Their articulation and dissection of maths was both hilarious and intuitive. Absolutely spot on, especially the so-called experts, which are simply there to give the show legitimacy it certainly does not deserve. The lads' take on the leading expert, John Aitken, was very revealing. The experts are sort of like referees. They don't realize they're the sideshow. Just get out of the way so the contestants can get drunk and fight like school kids.
They do think they are the main actors.
Yep. That's what the public wants. Blind Freddy could see it's the producers who choose the couples, not the experts. That's why they're such fuck-ups. This show brings desperately needed sanity to a messed up world. Long may it rain. 10 snotty experts out of 10 again. ... I still hate Passenger 57.
Don't blame you.
Don't blame you. Nick Kyrgios. I mean, we don't say his name anymore, but hateable guy. But we don't... He's not up for the timer yet. We don't have to buzz him yet because he hasn't said the words Nick Kyrgios.
That is, if he's referring to Nick Kyrgios by an alias now, surely all alii come into the picture.
You would say so,
So
wouldn't you?
Passenger 57 referring to Kyrgios as that. We have to
Start the timer again.
reset the timer.
Yeah. Another week gone with mentioning Nick Kyrgios.
Thank you, Lance. That's as always, you've delivered another banger, mate.
Out of the ballpark.
Out of
Maths is over now, unfortunately, but we do unfortunately, we have one more review of the Maths episode, which is from TAC, the Animal Chin, Christian Reese, all the way from San Clemente, California.
Christian Reese, JD, Esquire, the Animal Chin, writes in, boys, love the double click into Oz Maths. Got to be honest, it sounds way cooler than the US Maths, which is really boring and on the Learning Channel. Interesting though. The only topics that they want us to learn about are the happenings in modern Alaska, midgets, and scumbags who want to get famous by marrying each other sight unseen.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's the Learning Channel,
Different show.
which I've heard a lot about.
TLC.
Not really for learning, more just for ridiculing. But we digress. The Animal Chin writes on, the surf tour has 2 stops in Oz, Bells Beach, or Bells, he says, but I assume Bells Beach,
Victoria.
and Margie's. So I doubt you could get over there, but may still be worth a watch and comment. Tom knows Kelly Slater, so you're 134th from athlete identification anyway. You know Kelly Slater?
Oh, we're best mates.
Okay.
Yep.
I give this ep 10 out of 10 fried rice Bryces and coked up radio hosts. Would recommend. TAC, kind regards.
Well done, Tad.
Well done. This guy continues to impress me. Some go-getter, some salt of the earth bloke from California has just chimed into two scrubs from Brisbane.
I love how much he knows about Australian geography. Like, he really does his homework of like, oh yeah, the surf tour is in Bells Beach, so you won't be able to get there because you're in Queensland. It's like, I would have no fucking idea of where San Clemente, California is on a US map.
West Coast.
Yeah, but you know, if there's a surf, like, he knows a lot more than us.
Yes,
I
he
know
does.
it's on the West Coast.
Yeah, there's less to learn about us. We're pretty simple, straightforward people, whereas US, 50 states, 350 million people. Boring.
I'm not learning them.
No.
So don't give him any credit?
No, I give him credit. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying that for me to achieve the same level of knowledge will take a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more education, which we're not willing to do.
No, we're not.
Not when we've got shows like Lukewarm Sex to watch.
We do. And we're going to get into that in about 10 seconds. I just will say that if you do want to get involved in the OTAT community, if you've got a business that you want plugged and you can give us free cocktails, if you're starting a merchandise company or a refrigerator moving company, hopefully not a furniture moving company because that gives Tom's PTSD. But if you do want to get involved in On the Air Tonight, leave us a comment on one of our YouTube videos, follow us on Instagram and leave us a comment there, or give us an email at
ontheairtonightpodcast@gmail.com.
and you can be part of the show, the community. Get amongst it.
If you saw that plug today for Bavarian Beer Cafe and went, ooh, I want one of those for my business, I want to be called out and spoken about for a good 10 to 15 to 20 minutes.
Pulled apart like a piece of boiled beef.
Yeah, mostly praised, but then also honestly critiqued.
Do you want to be praised or do you want to be braised?
Because we'll braise you.
We'll pull you apart and braise you.
We'll braise you like a good pulled pork burger, some braised beef.
Oh, mama, I'm salivating.
That's kind of our point of difference in market. We don't do live reads or ads just selling a product. We just give honest reviews of a place's service, but you pay us the same money for it.
Yes, exactly right.
Is that a good business model?
Let's just, come together with us. We can get really intimate. Much like Luke McGregor does on Lukewarm Sex.
Is that his name, Luke McGregor?
Luke McGregor, I believe his name is. If you don't know Luke McGregor, Australian comedian, possibly the most awkward man I've ever seen. I don't know if it's a shtick or if it's just his natural. I feel like it's his natural personality. Just super shy, awkward, Magoo.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of exaggeration there. I think maybe he plays it up a little bit for camera, but he's definitely a very awkward human at heart, I believe.
Yes.
But
also very funny.
No relation to Conor McGregor, from what I can tell.
Well, probably not. You'd want to hope not.
They look like the most different. They both look very well. Conor's Irish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this guy
the biggest Irish athlete on the planet. Yep.
Just double checking. And then Luke McGregor looks like he has shitty, pasty Irish redhead skin.
Yeah, I mean, they both probably have some sort of Irish genetics, but you'd have to say that Conor's probably top of the genetic food chain.
You'd also say that McGregor is probably a very common Irish surname.
Very, very common.
Very common.
Very common.
Yeah. Very common.
Oh, very common.
Is that any good?
Very common.
How do you do an Irish accent? Irish. How do you do an Irish accent?
You kind of have to just let things roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
Like, it's just got to be smooth as a baby's arse.
Yeah, no, I can't even get near that.
That's all right. That's all right. I can do it for both of us. I can really slip into the role and pretend I'm Luke McGregor's Irish interpreter.
And you're also Conor McGregor as Conor McGregor.
Well, I fucking know you Conor McGregor as well, you fucking... No, I can't.
Pretty good, dude.
Right.
Can you do... Luke McGregor, can you do this show as Conor McGregor, not Luke McGregor?
So, right today, folks, we're going to go fucking find out about sex. I can't really, I could probably do it if I got a bit of a roll on, but 2 beers and an hour in front of the mic, it's not, I'm not in my flow state.
He's burnt out. He's burnt out.
I wouldn't say burnt out. I'd just say you're not going to get me to run an Olympic race before I warm up.
You're at like 2 beers. If you were like 6 beers deep, you wouldn't stop doing it.
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah. You'd be like, oh, fucking, I'm going to see how my fucking body looks naked.
I think you're nailing it, dude.
That,
yeah,
dude?
Keep going.
Me fucking, I'm uncomfortable with me cock out around me dad. So I just started UFC and now I'm going to find out more about me fucking body.
Oh, that's interesting, Connor.
Yeah.
What made you so insecure about your body in the first place?
I've just got a tiny little pasty dick.
Nailed it, dude.
You fucking nailed it. Now I'm going to smash your fucking head in because it all comes from insecurity of me butthole. I caught the reflection of me butthole in a camera.
Listen here. I for all the horrible things I've said on this podcast so far, I'd like to apologise to absolutely nobody.
Fuck you. That's not it.
It's not.
Oh, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Oh, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Your dick's small. Your dick's small.
Right. You just went into your own defense mechanism there. Onto the show. It's not Conor McGregor, it's Luke McGregor, Australian comedian, pacey ginger guy, quite awkward. And he wants to basically uncover things about sex. It's a very broad show covering all facets of sex. And it's really just meant to make things more accessible to people who might feel a little bit awkward about their bodies, about their libido, about, their drive or being intimate with partners or whatever the case may be.
Sexual well-being, Jacob. It's a
Sexual health.
sexual health. It's on everyone's lips at the moment, isn't it?
It is.
Much like something else that's on everybody's lips when you're talking about sex.
Okay.
Semen.
Yeah. Subtle as a brick, Farrelly. Nailed it.
We're no stranger to sexual well-being and health in Trademark Studios because have you heard of Love Honey? There's a fucking pink hammer dildo sitting on the wall behind us.
You can continue, but know that we don't have any sort of affiliation with them. So you're doing that off your own back. We don't do goodwill here.
Free plug. Free plug.
We're not doing no free plugs.
Okay.
No
Not an ad. Not an ad for Love Honey. But Luke McGregor sets out to, I suppose, like Jacob said, give people an insight to destigmatize not just men's sexual health, people's sexual health. Episode 1, I don't feel comfortable with my naked body around people. Mm-hmm. Episode 2, comfortable with intimacy. I don't feel comfortable touching people. Mm-hmm. Episode 3, touching vaginas. I don't like vaginas in general.
I don't think that's the third episode.
Episode 4, titties are weird and I don't like getting near them. Episode 5,
I'm gay.
turns out I'm gay. Yeah. Turns out I just like dick. And I solved the problem.
Oh, we've cracked the case. Luke McGregor isn't just awkward about sex. He's just awkward about heterosexuality.
Why don't I like vaginas? Let's do a documentary on it. What's that? That's a penis, Luke. I like that.
I don't mind that.
Don't
You know
mind.
you've got one. Yeah, it's a bit mashed up from all the taint touching I've been doing this episode.
It's a bit orange down there. It's a bit red.
It's a bit red. It's a bit ruby red.
It's a bit alcoholic and red down there.
All right. Tell us about your legitimate opinion about lukewarm sex, Tom.
What did I think of it? Lukewarm sex is all right. It's harmless fun, isn't it? I would say my genuine opinion of it is I think this is the most like ABC show ever in that it sets out to destigmatize something. And that is the ABC's MO of the last 30 years. Let's destigmatize this, and this. I'd argue that some things don't need to be destigmatized.
Right.
I think sometimes it's okay to have stigma around, for example, your parents seeing you naked.
Okay.
Or discussing sex with your parents, as in their sex life with you as a child. I don't think we need to destigmatize that. I think the barrier that is already up there probably exists for a reason.
Are you referring to the point in the show where Luke's talking to a sex therapist and he says he's uncomfortable with his own body and being nude because of an event that happened in his childhood where he didn't want to be naked in front of his parents?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he sits down with a sex therapist and he's trying to break down why he doesn't feel comfortable when he's naked. And the only real reason he can give is like, oh yeah, it was when I was a kid and this is when I realized I was uncomfortable being naked. I was getting changed and my mum was home, so I closed the door and got changed inside. And I was like, that's a very normal experience and desire to not have your mum look at your cock.
Sure. You're not wrong. It is a normal experience. I think what Luke was referring to first thing is incredibly awkward guy. He was put on the spot with a question, and I think he even starts out by saying, I don't know, maybe it was this.
Yeah.
Like he very much says it off the cuff. It's not like, well, it all started when I was 8 years old and my parents walked in on me when I was trying to change and I had to close the door on them.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it was very much like, I'm insecure with my body. And the therapist is like, why do you think that is? He's like, I don't know, maybe it's because of this.
Yeah. So basically they didn't get to the bottom of why he's insecure with his body.
No, but the whole point is that why learn why you're insecure about something when you can leapfrog the problem and go straight to the solution and there's techniques on how to feel more comfortable, confident in your body.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. Techniques as in ball rubbing? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just...
Because he does do that as well.
What I'm saying is that...
am I missing the point here?
What I'm saying is how we got the flat tire is not really the issue as long as we're able to get a replacement tire and get back on the road.
Yeah, let's fix the problem. We don't need to know why. We don't need to know if there's a bolt in the tire.
If we can cure cancer without knowing what cancer is, then let's do it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When I talk about destigmatization as well, I'm definitely talking about that, but then I'm talking about another scene where he sits down with his parents and he calls his mum at one point and he goes, oh, she is the one person who makes me feel comfortable in any situation, no matter what I'm wearing. If I have clothes on, if I have a little gimp suit on, if I have a strap-on dildo on, I can always talk to my mum.
If I'm wearing the skin of Conor McGregor and doing a really bad Irish impression.
There's no judgment from mum.
No judgment from
Just
mum.
goes, oh, you're wearing your brother's fucking skin, are you?
Yeah, yes, mum, I am.
Mum, you just get me.
Skinless brothers in the corner. He took me fucking skin again, mum.
I'm gonna knock your fucking block
I'd punch you if I still had me knuckles intact.
So he's apparently really comfortable with his mum, and then he goes to meet her in person, his mother and his father, and he can barely hold a conversation with his mum, just in a room, and that's weird. But that's almost by the by, because the next scene is him sitting down with his mother and his father, and he's basically asking them like how their sex life is, and like how they handle ups and downs of sex, and that's the kind of thing where I'm like, we don't need to destigmatize that. Like, I never need to ask Papk and my mother, how's your sex life and how do you navigate it? Like, why? That should be a conversation for a sex therapist or a friend at the pub. Like, why are you talking to your parents about that?
I see what you're saying for sure. There's no reason to bring up sex beyond that initial birds and the bees conversation, because it is an awkward conversation. You don't want to picture your parents having sex and conceiving you. You don't want them telling you about it. Completely understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I just think it doesn't do anyone any benefit to strip back the layers of stigma there.
I think the point that is being made is that our boy Luke here is a trailblazer. He's a maverick. He's a pioneer.
Oh yeah,
He's not doing this saying follow my actions,
because I'm probably wrong.
Go talk to your parents if you've still got both of them and they're still together and still fucking. He's not saying that. He's saying, I'm an awkward guy and I'm going to do everything I can to turn over every stone sexually in my life. And one of the things that I can do is, and it's just going to be for good entertainment essentially, because that's what it's all about, is that it's just entertainment, documentary. I'm going to talk to my parents about fucking.
So he's not telling me to go and talk to Papk about how much he has sex with my mother.
I don't think at one point
I shouldn't do that.
He's not. I don't think at one point is he saying the show, hey,
because I can do it.
You should go talk to your parents about all the fundamentals of sex, all the fundamentals of your conception. Not what he's saying.
This
at
isn't
all.
the blueprint of how to handle it.
No, for him, it's very much an investigative, journalistic approach of like, I want to become more comfortable with my body, but I'm going to do it for entertainment purposes as well. So how about before I get naked or I go to a sex therapy class with a guy who tells me to rub my balls to maintain a better erection. I'm going to talk to my parents for a bit.
That's fair. I like when he talks to his dad and he's like, the mum is a bit more open and the dad's just kind of mumbles. He's like, yeah, just, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah, his dad is very much
the most he gives.
What happened to the Gary Cooper types? Huh? Yeah, his dad's very much the stoic.
Yeah,
see no evil, speak no evil type guy.
The dad is sitting there like wishing his son went into football, and he's like, oh, Luke's doing another fucking arts show for the ABC. What's this one about? Oh, you can ask me about sex.
You can ask me about sex with you. All right, fine.
Okay. On camera, okay. When it happens, it happens.
And it's funny because his dad's actually he has this reserved, as I said, stoic demeanor about him. But as they get further in the conversation, his dad starts opening up about him watching his parents or Luke's grandparents fuck for the first time.
Dude, that story's fucked.
And he's like, oh, so did your parents ever talk to you about it? And he's like, no. I lived out on a farm, so it was a, much more simplistic, it was a simpler time. So when I was out in the field working with my brothers and sisters, we actually came up from hard to Yakko, came up to the house, and we all walked in the living room wondering what was for dinner, and we saw mum and dad going at it, ploughing each other.
In the living room?
In the living room of all places. I thought, you've got kids on the farm. Yeah. They're not that far away.
No. You kids are meant to be throwing hay bales. What are you doing back in here? I'm trying to root your mother.
We're watching you throw bales of something, mate.
Ooh. And instead of going... his parents were like, oh, fuck off, go away, I'm trying to root your mother. The kids were like, no, I want to see how it goes.
Yeah, which is just as weird.
How does this work?
Yeah. No.
What are we unpacking here, guys?
Okay, so daddy goes into mummy from here, and then he wraps around, he grabs this toy from here that looks like rosary beads, but bigger.
Just get some Playboy. Get some Playboy mags. I'm not showing you how to put anal beads in your mother right now.
And where does the crane come into it, Dad?
Yeah. The crane?
The crane.
The crane. It's in a crane?
As in, like, the crane, the stalk.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Stalk,
yeah,
crane.
I'm with you.
Potato.
I thought you were talking about like construction cranes.
No,
as
not
a sex toy.
Not counting cranes in Brisbane. I'm talking the bird, the crane. That's biblically told as like the animal that delivers a baby to a family. So, Tom, what did you think about lukewarm sex?
Lukewarm sex.
What was your rating of it, my friend?
My rating of lukewarm sex, I would give it a good old-fashioned 3 out of 10 massage testicles. Because that is a huge part of the show. We go to a sex therapist, just quickly, we go to a sex therapist. The one tip that he has for men, he's a male sex therapist with a bunch of men in a sex group, and they're all going, I'm not comfortable with my body, I'm not comfortable with my sexuality. What do I do to be more comfortable? Just get in there.
Start just thumbing the inner thighs.
Yeah, he goes really up.
Like smack up your balls like you're playing
He goes,
hacky sack.
Just loosen up your balls.
Yep.
And he goes, there's a lot of tension in here. And it's just 10 dudes in a circle just whacking their balls around.
It's great television.
It's good TV, dude. And he's like, he does a one-on-one with Luke after that where he just goes, are you... He makes everyone else in the room leave, and it's just those two sitting there, it's just one guy to another, just rubbing their own ball sacks, in and around the legs, and he's like, and don't get aroused. He keeps making that point, that caveat every like 3 to 5 seconds. Like
This is not for
arousing way.
This is not for arousal. Yeah. This is non-sexual stimulation.
Yeah. Don't start jerking off around me, you fucking weirdo. I don't want an erection.
Shouldn't be getting hard from this. No. You rubbing your genitals aggressively should not be getting you hard.
No. The amount of times he's done that with guys, and that's his job, so he's doing that every day. He's seen his fair share of erections.
You'd think so.
You would have to get a few guys who are like, oh, this is going well.
As a sex therapist, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd see your fair share of stiff phallic.
Yeah, of boners. So I'd give it 3 out of 10 massage balls.
Ball massages.
Did I ever tell you Dad's Birds and the Bees story, Dad's Birds and the Bees chat with me?
Share it now.
He was like, basically he avoided having one to the point where I was at that age, part Australian, part Chinese. Hope you don't mind me telling this story.
He doesn't have any power here.
He really doesn't. This is staying in. But Mum was like, all right, Tom's at that age, maybe 12, 13. I can't have this chat with him. I have every other chat with him. I can't have this sex chat with him. This is up to you. And Dad's like, oh, can't he just... watch some porn or talk to his mates about it?
Can't I just wait in the car until he's finished?
Can't you just talk about it at dinner and I'll start the engine up? His gran will talk to it about it with him.
So Pap worked up the courage to speak to you about the bees and the bees.
And I kind of knew it was coming because like there was hummings about it. Like, Dad's going to have a chat with you. I was like, oh, okay. Not looking forward to it, but okay. And he just comes up to me when Mum's not there one day and he just goes... So, Mum wants me to have this chat with you, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, can we just tell her that we did? And then we don't have the conversation? And I'm like, sure, Dad. I'll lie to Mum I'll lie to Mum and say that you had the chat with me. So Mum to this day still thinks we had like a really good sit down chat.
Until now.
And he just came up and went, we're not doing this, are we, kid? And I'm like, no, we're not.
So you found out through the school playground, I assume.
How everyone should and does.
Especially in today's day and age.
Yeah, I think Birds and the Bees chat is going the way of the dodo. They should call it the dodo and the bees chat. Do you really need to have a chat with your father about sex? Maybe just watch some porn.
Well, this goes back to Luke McGregor's conversation with his parents. I think it's important to have an open dialogue with your parents, especially at that age, but it's also perfectly natural and common to be like, I'm not talking about my dick with my dad.
But also as the father, do you have a responsibility to be like, I'm going to nut up here and like swallow this awkwardness?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You totally have your due diligence.
Dad just did none of it.
100%.
If that doesn't trickle down to my son, then I'll be very lucky. I would say I'm not having that chat with my boy either.
Try growing up in a broken home where your parents are not on speaking terms and in separate households, so they both give you a red hot crack at the Birds and the Bees.
You got two.
No, they're not trying to fuck me. They're trying to give me the Birds and the Bees chat. Great things, there's a lot of positives to a divorced household.
2 Christmases.
2 Christmases, 2 birthdays usually. obviously a lot of cons as well, a lot of tears, a lot of trauma, emotion, an increased probability of not succeeding in life because you come from a broken home. One of the worst things has to be that you get the birds and the bees chat from two people.
Yep.
And they feel the need to tell you because it's like, no, your father's not going to do the right thing by you. Your mother's not going to tell you the right information. So you get it twice.
Both trying to outdo each other.
So
what did your mother tell you? That like dicks are this and vaginas this? Well, I'm going to tell you about anal beads and BDSM.
Involved a lot of baby oil and bananas with condoms.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Safe to say, I am confused.
Hey, dude,
At 27 going on 28, I am confused.
I can't look at my own penis.
Nope, I'm ashamed of my body.
I am Luke
I
McGregor.
punish myself at night.
Yeah. What would you give lukewarm sex streaming on ABC iView out of 10?
I would give it. Look, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I might go back and watch some more, just to see what he does uncover and what taboo subjects he decides to discuss.
Yeah, not for you, right?
Not for
your own
well, maybe
self-discovery.
for me, but I think the more education can't hurt someone on a certain subject.
That's true.
Especially as they describe in the show, such a focal point of our lives is sex. So it's something that you need to be comfortable with is your own sexuality and your own body in any circumstance. So I would give lukewarm sex 5 bad Irish accents out of 10.
5 bad Irish accents out of 10.
Top of the morning and let me see your morning wood.
Yeah. Yeah, top of the hard fucking morning to you.
Top of the penis to you.
The top of my penis to the top of yours. From one to another.
Top of the penis to your mouth.
Beautiful. 5 out of 10.
So we would recommend you go watch it. It is streaming now on ABC iView. It's a 6-part docu-series. If you did enjoy this episode of On the End Tonight, and if you have made it this far, we really do thank you so much for joining us. Tom, is there any parting words you'd like to say, mate?
I'd just like to say thank you to the Spuds and the Potaters who tune in week after week after week. We see you, we appreciate you, and we hope you had a fantastic Easter. And we'll be back next week with another massive episode 61 of On the Air Tonight.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.